But I do have a few charts that I do have a word or two about, if we can jump into those.
Cool.
You know, I'm a little obsessed with the diamond these days, even though it's kind of one of the, it's not the spider, it's not the IWM, but it's broken, the trend line. I got out of my short yesterday morning just to step aside, and it's rallying on this kind of mixed bag day we've got so far. And I would say strong resistance would be up around where it bonked its head a couple of times before. Of course, the deeper we get into earnings season, the more at the mercy of those earnings these sorts of things will be. But it's just, there's not a lot of there for me from a charting perspective. I think the most nerve-wracking part right now for any surviving bears out there continues to be semiconductors. Those bottomed on Friday morning, and they shook off their worries on Friday. They popped up the past couple of days, and this morning they opened weak, but here on the SOXL, which is the leveraged ETF on semis, we've got a big old green bar. So if we start pushing into this rounded top, that's going to start to throw cold water on the semiconductor miniature bear market we've been seeing. Over in metals, those have also been getting a relief, just like semis have. I got out of my XME short mercifully a couple of days ago because I felt that it was good enough, and it's been popping past couple of days, good strong days. It will be a while before I would consider touching this one on the short side, but it's been slashing down in this kind of violent series of lower lows and lower highs for months now. So it's really anyone's guess. I would say that the first really meaningful point of exhaustion would probably not be until that price gap right around there. And similarly,
so wait, hold on real quick. Are you're saying with XME and metals that they got room to go higher, or this is going to be a fade from here?
I think they do have possible room to go higher. I'm hedging a lot here, but I think what we're experiencing right now is kind of what we were doing here, which is a relief rally. I mean, it could be done like right this second, as far as I know. My point is that there's no meaningful, lengthy pattern in place here, and patterns can fake you out too, as this very chart illustrates. I mean, this was a beautiful bullish pattern. It popped above resistance here. It did exactly what it was supposed to do here, but the warning sign was 2 days later. It's like, wait a second, what are you doing? You know, it's getting back into the pattern, and then it would begin this plunge.
Gotcha, yeah.
So no position, but I'm saying that as your resident Permabear, that I would not consider touching this on the short side unless it crawled its way back up to that price gap.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, there's my non-answer. But yeah, that gap's the only meaning. That's the only meaningful.
It makes sense. I feel. I mean,
yeah,
you can see it on the pattern. It looks like it could easily, like it looks like it's doing similar things that we've seen twice so far.
Yeah, definitely. Still sticking with the metals theme. Here's GLD. Also rallying, and kind of the same point that I don't think is interesting from a shorting perspective until and unless it clambers its way back up to the base of that right triangle. And miners also particularly lusty pop here because they tend to move in an exaggerated fashion compared to the underlying metals. Same idea, and a particularly interesting trade if it did get up to that big old pattern that it fell away from initially. And then one last metal here real quick, silver. Here's the gap on this one, right? Like so, exactly the same idea. And I haven't really, let's just tidy this up a little bit with a proper trend line there. There's a right triangle on that one. So totally understandable relief rally coming after this long slog of selling. But I think it's going to be, as Ben Bernanke might say, transitory. China, I appreciate because we're continuing to slip on that. I've got September $36 puts on FXI, and so we're slipping away from that very what I kind of call the peanut butter zone here, where it's all thick and chunky and hard to get through. Whereas this was the really simple part, but we were repelled from that as of Monday's peak. And on an individual basis, Alibaba slipping more, got short on this. Baidu slipping a little bit. And then broadly speaking, looking at the monster equity futures here, ES continues to be like kind of an oil painting. I mean, we're still grinding away in the range we've been in since way back early in May. And it's going to take I guess it's all about earnings at this point. I mean, the market seems to be relatively shrugging off the mayhem going on with oil and with Iran right now. So we need a critical mass of earnings data to decide to either lurch this thing into a new phase of its bull market, or at a minimum, slump its way down to the lower portion of this range. And it's, there's nothing to go on right there. It's just sitting. NQ, I think, is a lot easier read. We've got these nice, clear support and resistance levels. We've been, ever since we cut through this one last week, we've been bouncing around within this lower range, and nothing will get exciting on the bear side unless we can cut through, which will take some doing, which will cut through this support level. As it is now, we're just trying to get back above this zone, which so far it's failed at.
What's that?
SMH continues. I beg your pardon.
Like 29,500, basically.
You're younger than me, so your eyes are better. Whatever that number in blue is.
Well, that's 29,436, but
yes, on the NQ there. So SMH, just to kind of revisit what we're looking at with SOXL, SMH it's below important resistance right now. Broadly speaking, everything above that green line has the potential, with a capital P, of being a terrific topping pattern. As it is, it's really got to stay below that blue line. I mean, not to the penny. We'll give it a little bit of room, but it'd be really nice if we didn't violate yesterday's high on that. And just to wrap up with a couple of commodities, just to revisit the gold here from a futures perspective. Same right triangle. We had this just amazing bull run literally for years. We moved from the 1,000s to the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, the 5s, and people had like $10,000 signs in their eyes. And then we pooped out on that one late in January and crafted this right triangle top, which we're kind of fighting back toward the base. And then, as we mentioned yesterday at the bottom of the show, crude oil keeps on keeping on. We've had a tremendous rally of this. The buy signal, so to speak, was the ceiling of this price gap right here. We got just a little below it, and since then it's been hardly looking back. And the big event from a charting perspective on this is, can it cross this descending trend line, which I think would open up a new bullish phase for energy.
Gotcha.
Beautiful. Yeah, lots of movement in gold and silver specifically with such strong moves back to back, but we'll see what happens there. Tim, appreciate your time. See you a little bit later.